Right there. Hello there, Outliers. Niyama Shang here. This is an actually really special thing. So what we have going on here is that for the last couple of months, I've taken a break from coming on live and sharing things with people on the podcast because I realized something deep down inside. And what was happening was that while I was out in the world, while I was out there creating and showing up and trying to walk in alignment with the mission of why I was on this planet, something was off. Something was off, and and the thing that was off more than anything else was that I wasn't showing up as fully in alignment with what my soul was on this planet for. Even just saying that right now, like I wanted to say like three other different ways of saying it, but the truth is, I was playing small, I was playing easy, I was playing safe, and I had a conversation with someone who brought in the danger that they thought it might be to be me, and I realized that like actually danger is it might be the path. I'm able to create so much safety that maybe the thing here is that the next levels of growth, impact, identity, and income all come on the other side of like leaving safety behind. And so we're stepping in, embarking into a new journey here. We're going to play the way that we're going to play with one another, but the way that we're doing it now is through intensity, is through stakes, and it's through co-creation, right? In this space here, you're now coming into a space where Diane, Nate, and Pauline have said yes to being the first people to come and play in our new co-created space. And the fun part about this is that like we're literally co-creating it. Like we're going to see where things go. But rather than talking about all the accomplishments we've had in the past and the stories that have been out on all the other kinds of podcasts out here, each one of these, everyone here, including myself, is stepping out on their edge, and we're choosing to bring in something that isn't quite complete. That requires us to have to grow and transform in it, and to be in a place where we can get additional perspectives as well as like insight as to what the next step is for us. This is not your typical podcast because we're not your typical people. We're outliers. And the things that we do are the things that most other people think can't be done. And so we're going to play with that and see where that lands. For the rest of this conversation, I'm going to pretend that y'all watching are not here. You get to be a fly on the wall for the rest of this conversation. And Diane, Pauline, Nate, I invite you to be the same, to do the same here. All right. A lot of times when I've done this in the past, people are like, "Oh yeah, for any of your listeners," I'm like, we're not even there, right? They get the benefit of being able to see three incredible people, four, I'll include myself in that. So four incredible people continue to see how we continue to lean into our growth edges and how we're stepping into the real opportunities that we want to be creating for each other. All right. Um, with that being said, are y'all game to play?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, all
Yeah.
right, cool. All right, cool. So I said this beforehand. I don't have an agenda other than like coming in and bringing everything I can to make this a life changing conversation for each of you. I don't know how it's going to be, but I am really dedicated to that. And so let's just put that straight up on the table here. I think the way that I'll start out for today is let's see. I'm going to start with you, Diane, and I'm going to ask you this question. Diane, life changes on the table, but you got an invitation for me and you decided to show up, right? Why?
Every time I'm with you, I change. And that has been in person and that has been on conversations that we've had throughout the last year on WhatsApp. And I want change.
Mm.
I want change. I'm willing. I want to be uncomfortable today. And so I'm here and I want to do it in public.
All right, awesome. So you say you want to be uncomfortable today, Diane. Help me see here. What does comfort look like for you here? What does uncomfort look like? If today was going to be a life changing conversation, but an uncomfortable life changing conversation, where would we have to go for you?
Is that for me?
Yep.
Oh, we would have to go to why I have made so much less money this year
Mhm.
than any other year in 20 years.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for playing full out. We'll be playing and unpacking that. All right. Um, Now, just real quick here, we're gonna like the why part we can get into and figure that out pretty quickly. Once we do figure that out, what would you want to have as like the like would you if you left this conversation and you're like, oh, now I know why, would that be enough for you? or would you want something more than that? Let me check in before I move on.
That's enough
I
for
feel like
me.
there's a question underneath the question. Okay. All right, cool. All right, Dan, I see you. All right, let's play. Pauline, let's come to you. What would make this a life changing conversation for you?
Um, for me, I would want, and you're good about this, I just don't know how to do it. It'll be good to explore
Yeah.
of how to have a vision beyond what I can already see. So it's like creating something beyond what I think I know. So I'm creating normally from my past experience, perspectives, all the different things, but the like I know it sounds corny, but the impossible dream. Like what does that look like? And
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that on my own. So I'm excited to play with multiple people.
Yeah. All right. Game on. Game on. And Nate, if this conversation was going to be like everything you wanted and more, what would it be? What would we need to focus on? Actually, I said the stakes a little bit lower for you. What would make this a life changing conversation for you?
Hmm. Hmm. I think for me, I started when you invited me on. There was a couple of preliminary questions about impact and income and identity, and I really like that framing. And it got me thinking. Even before this conversation, I started doing a little research on this too, because I think that I've been kind of focused on like a small scale, like how can my business? It's kind of like a lifestyle business. How can I support my family and myself and just kind of like my personal dreams? And that's a big challenge already. And I'm kind of stabilizing there and it's starting to work. And now I'm kind of like, how do I like really make an impact in the world? And I was trying to think about like expanding my view. So I think if today was a life-changing conversation, it would be to kind of like step out of my bubble and to think think in a like a bigger dimension than I usually do.
Mm. Mm. All right, cool. I'm literally like, it's been making me smile. And if you see me look down, it's because I just want to take some notes that I might come back to in a little bit. Oh, we gotta play, y'all. We gotta play. And all right, cool. So now we've all brought something in here into this space here, and I think we'll see where things go. Pauline, you brought in the impossible goal, and it's something I think is like really really lovely to play with. Let's use that as our frame for today, right? So, impossible goal. As I think about the impossible goal, I think about it from. Well, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I reach out to people saying, "Hey, I'm going to like help, like come and give you 20 minutes to work on your impossible goal." Right? And I reached out to people I thought were outliers, and I was like, "Hey, let's do this." And what really got me was when people came back and they're like, I don't think you know me because if you did, you know that nothing would actually be impossible, you know? And what got me from there was realizing that like, oh yeah, you know what? For us outliers, like we've done things, the things that we've done in life, most people would have like most people, maybe even our prior selves, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, might have thought that where we are right now would have been impossible. So when we talk about the impossible goal, this is not necessarily something that is truly impossible, but it may be impossible from the standpoint of who you're being right now, or at least feel impossible from that, or it might be one of those quote unquote impossible from the outside perspective, like you can't do that. All right. So Pauline, you brought this in here. I think I'd love to play with you on this. Um, what I found here, by the way, I'll just give you all the little thing as I've had these conversations. What I found is that the thing about the impossible goal is not that the goal itself is impossible, but it's like given who we see ourselves being, that ends up being impossible. It's impossible in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form. It's impossible for us. You know, I yeah, I see some nods that are coming in. All right. And so as we have this conversation, I'm going to be looking to see like how do you see yourself right now? And y'all can like even and what happens here is like even when I'm working with one person, I'm actually working with all three of you. I'm going to be keeping all of you in space as I walk through this here. So Pauline, let's get a sense right now. Tell us right now about like the edge of possibility that you can see right now. Where's the furthest that you can see right now?
Can you give me context?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in
You
my
said earlier that like you're like I'm hoping to see like beyond the vision of what I can already
okay.
see. So see something that's created beyond that. So I just want to just kind of see like where's the edge that we can already see right now, and then start to play with what might feel impossible outside of that.
Okay, so I and was referring to my business, and I you know that the 4 levels of consciousness, right? It's like things you know, things you don't know, like, so I want to play in the I don't know what I don't know yet. And
Mm,
so for me, I feel like a lot of things that I can visualize that I would want to create is based on what I already know and know I don't know. I don't know if that's making
yeah,
so
yeah,
much, if it's clear. But so that's why I enjoy having
yeah.
you as a coach, because you are able to say, well, what if this, right? And I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. And so I don't know exactly how to answer that question.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, Pauline. So
Mhm,
what I'm hearing right now, and this is something we don't get to do in the one-on-one space together. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna let you chill for a little bit, right? Because what I think I'm
okay.
hearing is like you're like, if it's coming from me directly, then like I'm gonna be only able to operate from the things that I know or the things that I know that I don't know, right? So I think
Mhm,
before we come to you, Pauline, we have to actually like populate the space with other stuff, right? And then from
yeah.
that place, I think your brain's going to be like making some connections. My ask of you is while your brain's doing this here, I know that like, you're so brilliant. Let the brain go. I would love for you to listen to the rest of this conversation from your gut. Right?
Mm,
Listen to your gut and tell and like just like check in with your like throughout it to hear that. So we're gonna have some people that are listening with their head, some people listen with their heart. Pauline listens with her gut. Let us know what comes out of that. Okay. So like
okay.
my ask is to be in the practice of that gut listening as we go on. All right.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Let's go here. Diane, let's play with you and then we'll come to Nate. Diane. Okay. You you said that you've been you want to know why you made less money this year than you've made in other years. Is that right?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something to me like in the question, right? And in your response to my like pushback on it, like my deeper dive on it, that I feel like might have some of the answer into it, right? So you asked me, I want to know why. And I came back and I was like, well, if you just know why, does it actually change your circumstance or not? Right. And so I put that question back out there. And you're like, no, I think I'll be good with just knowing why. Right. And that to me feels like what if the entire clue of why this year is like a bit a step back from where things have been beforehand was in just that one exchange. What would you make of that if that was the case? And if that doesn't make sense, let me know. I can say it a different way.
That I already know the answer.
Mm, mm. Say more.
Uh, and it relates to what you were just saying to Pauline. Is I hit up against my edge every year for a long time, and this year uh, I've been going like there's a lot of extreme extra circumstances on top of what I normally would be dealing with. We're about to move. We've been getting the house ready. We had a family crisis, and so my attention hasn't been on my attention has been very distracted. I've been very distracted, and so giving myself grace on that, but also like I mean I things that I used to think were impossible. I've done things, many things that I used to think were impossible, uh, and lived to tell. And truly, some of those things bore the hell out of me now.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they bore me now, and so a lot of the clients I used to serve, uh, I've outgrown. I've outgrown.
I love seeing the acknowledgement of that right there. You know, one of the things that came to me as you were talking was like we've been getting caught up just a bit. You've had a lot go on this year, you know, and there's something that's playing to me where when I asked you the question of like, do you want to go? Basically, my question was, do you want to go further than knowing why, right? And what I think I heard from you in that place was like, no, like I'm good with where I'm at right now. I'm good with knowing that. And what like in your response right now, what's coming to me is like, oh, Diane, like, what if it feels like the premise underneath the questions here was that like something is wrong or something's gone off with your business or with things going on because your business has slowed down. But what I feel like I'm getting from you is like, hey, look, well, what if we just looked at it and said, like, this is exactly where you wanted it to be, more or less, given some of the other priorities that you had going on. Like, given what you could take on at that time, the capacity for what you had, this is what your business is exactly what makes sense as a result of it, as opposed to something that's actually going wrong. How aligned is that for you? How does that feel for you?
It feels completely true and aligned. And there's this performing part of me,
Mhm.
this um, I need to be enough. I need to prove myself. I need to maintain or go bigger. You better maintain, girl. You better maintain, or you should be way over here. So it triggers a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Triggers a lot of feelings of um, that I don't like, and I've had to like bump up against for a few like months now.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, we're gonna keep bumping. We're gonna just be here. We're bumping along, and there is nothing. And I have to remind myself every day, all through the day, we're okay. You're okay. We're okay. You're all right. And trust.
How many of y'all feel that, like that element of like, hold on, given where I am, even maintenance sometimes feels excruciating. It's like if I'm not growing, then what's happening, y'all? I'm seeing some nods here. Y'all get that. Then there's something that's coming to me as we're saying here, and it's interesting because y'all are here on the first conversation of when I've done this. I actually this 4 years ago, like 2021, 2022, I used to do group coaching out for the podcast and such too. So I'm like, this is not new. I can't say it's new. I haven't done it for a long time. And what's like, as you're talking, I realized something. I'm like, I was giddy coming into this space. I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. We're doing this, right? But in a couple hundred episodes, maybe even in 10 of these conversations, like this is going to be normal. But for the whole part of 2026, I've been kicking myself. Nate, Pauline, like Diane got this invitation like 2 or 3 days ago. I've been teasing that I'm gonna do this for months, and I've been thinking to myself, like, how can I keep showing up and say that it's gonna show up, like it's gonna happen, and then it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't. And as you were talking, Diane, what came to me is I'm like, but it's happened now. And from this point onward, like this is the least amount of evidence of it happening that will ever exist, you know? And in a couple months' time, people aren't going to know that it took me 6 months, a year, 3 years to actually get back into this game. They're just going to come in, meet me, and see the rocket ship that I'm on, given the conversations that we're having.
Yeah.
And so there's something that where I feel you right now. I'm like, you are the person who you are. There's been a season that you've been dealing with, and you've made some choices to go through that. In terms of getting to that next level of growth, what if that's like you use the word grace? I'm like, yeah, what if there's this space of like when that is time, like we'll have the rocket ship come off with that. Like how does it like what are you getting from this? What parts of this is actually lining up or not? And you don't have to like say that it is. If it's not lining, just let me know. What are you getting from it?
Yeah. The controlling part of me wants to know, okay, in August, you're going to be settled in a new house by August 15th or August, like I want to know, like, okay, when am I going to be able to just sit down in my new house, have my cute office, be unpacked, and like the sky opens up. Like I have nothing to, so I know it's coming. I guess what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. I see it. It's not as far as it used to be. Where I'm at the end of the marathon. I'm at the end of the marathon, and I've run 4 marathons. And even saying that out loud is like, most people have not done that. That was impossible. I did it. Okay, cool. So I know I'm going there. I know I'm okay. And just every time I get worked up, trust the evidence of the past, surrender into this is what's most important today. This is my life. This is my family. This is my home. And all the work is important. It's a part of me. It's who I am. But I'm more than just who I am. I'm way more than just money. Let me just say like that.
Yeah.
Truthfully, money is ridiculous, and I don't want to even think about it. I just want to do what I'm called to do. I want to do what
the thing that comes in when I hear that, Diane, is like, what are you called to do right now? And I don't actually mean this in like the macro, like in like the biggest mission kind of thing. Because normally I would be like, I'll be asking each of you about what's your mission? Like, what are you feeling called to? Why are you on this planet? Right. When I hear you speak right now, Diane, what comes to me is like, oh, I bet you Diane's impossible goal right now is to actually allow herself to be in the space that she's in and maximize like what that is. It's like I feel like we're catching you at the end of a season. So there's something that's called the seasons of change. I'll send it over to you later on. I don't know who made it, but like they talk about like the external season and our internal seasons. And it's like fall being the beginning of change, winter being letting go of things. You're literally letting go of your house. How long have you been in your house so far? Like how many years have you been there?
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years, right? So you have about a decade's worth of letting go, right? And what I feel from you is like you're used to being in the spring. You're used to like being in a place of creation and so on and so forth. And so you're looking at things and you're like, I know how to create. Why am I not creating? Because I'm like, it ain't time for the flowers to come out yet. like this is the time for the leaves to fall off the trees. This is the time to like be in hibernation. This is the time to clear out. And the thing about that is that there's a lot of, and this is where I found a place that we get to play, but there's work to be done during that time. Right? There's work to be done. And it feels like right now we're trying to skip the work to be done, so we can get back into spring. And it's like, like once you finish like clearing out all the leaves and letting it fall off and so on and so forth, like spring will come. And when that's there, this stuff will be behind you. So what would it be like to, and I'm going to let you sit with this one here. You don't have to answer me right now, but what would it be like to like, firstly just assess like what season are you in? What is this time actually calling for right now? And if you were going to like go fully all in on that, right, and just like maximize what this season is calling for, what would change? What would shift? What would that leave you with? All right, I'll let you simmer on that one for a little bit. All right, thanks, Diane. Nate, I'm going to come over to you because I'm going around in a circle. Right, Nate, what's been your biggest insight from any part of our conversation so far? It might have been even when I sent you the message like, hey, do you want to come in on this year? So what's been your biggest insight so far?
Well, I was, as you were talking with Diane, I was thinking about in Qigong, which is something I teach. It's a Chinese healing martial art form. And they very much talk about the seasons. There's different practices for different seasons. And one of the themes for, as you said, like in the winter is called nourishing the roots. And it's the invisible growth that happens, underneath the surface. And I really resonate with what you said, Diane, too, because for me too, it's like, okay, do I have more students? Am I making more money? Can I, it's like the external parts, are very easy to just hyper focus on. Whereas like the nourishing of the roots may also be happening. And as Niyama said, so that really clicked for me too. And so what's related to me personally is, and what got me started joining this conversation, was to start to think about like beyond my own personal bubble, and thinking about like, okay, how do I expand my sense of vision, like in both directions, both externally and internally? Because I think for me, also, it isn't like I want to expand my vision so that I can make more money or even like serve more people, but it's also like I can have a deeper sense of satisfaction. Like, wow, I've really changed people's lives, or people have really changed because of the work I'm doing. That's invisible, that's something you can't really measure all the time.
Mm.
So for me, I was thinking about like a lot of the stuff that I do is invisible. Like if I work with people in their 70s or in their 80s and they don't have a fall, how do you measure the fall they didn't have? They don't get depressed and get sick. Like, how do you measure that? So there's all these like immeasurable things to what I do that I realize also, like, I need to find a way to acknowledge that and um and appreciate that as well, because it is important as well. So yeah, those are some of the things I've been thinking about since we started.
All right, I'm gonna play with you, Nate. You good with that?
Yeah.
You can't see, you can see the top moving just a bit, but underneath, like I'm like wagging like a dog. I'm like, oh, we go play. All right. And I said earlier, I'm like, I didn't curate this room, but like I kind of curated it. One of the things that's cool here, Nate, is that Pauline is a master of visibility in many different ways here. And so when you're talking about like the invisible thing, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking about Pauline right here. And I'm curious about like what she like her gift in making that which was invisible visible, right? In many different ways. So Nate, I'm gonna go play a little bit about what you said back to you, and then see how we play. Right. The biggest thing here that I'm thinking about, Nate, is actually just the going back to what I was saying with Pauline about like it's impossible based on the identity, based on the mindset, based on the way we're looking at it. Right. There were a lot of things that you put into this space right now that like I'm like, I don't believe that story. I don't believe that story one bit, right? So a lot of the things that you consider to be invisible, I was like, well, then just make it visible. Like it almost feels like my I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old right now. It feels like my 3-year-old played hide and seek behind the curtain, and like
Oh,
she's like, yeah, she's behind the curtain, and like her feet are just out there, just out there. It's like and then she's like shaking it because she wants me to find her, like so on and so forth. That's how I feel about a lot of the things you just said. You said something like, "How do you measure the fall they didn't have?" Right? And as soon as you said that, I was like, "Don't like construction and building like don't they have like days without a fall, days without an injury?" And they just crank that up, all right? And it's very not only is it measured, it's celebrated. They get awards on it, so on and so forth, right? They found a way and they said, "Hey, we aren't going to make this invisible here. If we're not going to just let this be the status quo. We're going to shine a light on it, and we're going to find our ways to go and make sure that comes into the spotlight." And so what's coming for me, Nate, is like I feel like we can be really creative. The two things that were coming was like we could just make it visible. And the second part was what was a feedback loop. Right now, Nate, it feels like you're missing the feedback loop. So you said like it's not about like making more money or reaching more people. It's about like the deep satisfaction of the impact that you're doing, something along those lines, right? And I know that you work with your clients on a regular basis. They get to work with you live. They get to be in the spaces with you. And what was coming is I was like, oh, that's really curious that Nate doesn't yet get a chance to see the impact he's making, right? And I'm like, why is that? And the simplest thing that came to me was like, oh, he doesn't have a feedback loop for it. He's likely not asking for it. He's likely not like creating systems such that when good things happen, they are coming back to him. And that is not being captured for you deeply. But like interestingly enough, I'm like, if you're able to capture that, that might be actually also be able to go out into the world in testimonials, case studies, when you're talking to people and they're like, well, this couldn't happen for me. You're like, oh, that's funny enough, Like Gladys the other day just told me a story about this. And so like I'm in the space here first and foremost of like, but what if we just made all the things you're saying? What if the opposite was actually true? And what would it take to create that? What do you make of that, Nate?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, I think that's true. I think there is, as you said, like once you flip the script and start thinking about how do we make the invisible visible, I think that is possible. I think that is a good framing to kind of like turn the weakness into a strength, like turn the thing that is impossible into possible. Like so in terms of those feedback loops, yeah, I get emails all the time from people, but then yeah, I'll just kind of like put them in a folder. I'm like, oh, I should share that someday. You know, that was a nice thing they said, or you know, oh they got, and like I teach on AARP, and they send out feedback after every class, and then one day my the person who manages this program, she sends it to me. She's like, oh, here's all the feedback we've gotten over the last year, and there's just like dozens and dozens and dozens like positive thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I should share that someday. So I really have it.
Before you even share it though, like what's coming to me is like, it's like you should receive it someday. You should receive it, and like, so today's a pretty good day out of all the days out there, you know. But like my invitation to you, Nate, is like after we end this call here, it's gonna be a weekend too. Like, just go back, go to that folder, go to the things that you've seen, and actually sit down and read it. And this time though, it's not with the intellectual component. Like my ask is, yeah, I'm gonna actually just put this as your quest is to do this without having any impact directly to your business. This is not about I can use this testimonial or I can make a case study out of this or I can like I should follow up with this person to make like no. This first and foremost, Nate, I think that we have to like you have to be in the receipt of what's coming to you. Things are flowing your way. It's not invisible. It's a 3-year-old with her legs out in the curtain. It's like, hi, but like this sorry, I just have a lot of like I just have y'all played with like young kids and hide and seek where it's like it's really fun because I always win.
I have a 2-year-old and she does this one. She'll just cover her eyes.
That's it. Nate, that's what you're doing. Peekaboo, right? Nate, that's what you're doing. Like this stuff is coming to you and you're like, I can't see it. It's not here. Like we see
really
it.
Interesting because you're right. I have that kind of reaction where it's kind of like, oh no, you know, it is hard for me to receive that kind of positive feedback or compliments and to, like you said, like take it in. So yeah, that actually would be a real challenge and kind of a growth step for me. I appreciate that. So.
Like, what is the cost? What is it costing you, and what's it costing the people you serve that you are currently choosing not to receive? It sounds like great leadership to be like, oh, it's not me. Oh, it was actually all you. What all that? But like, what's the cost of them that you aren't putting yourself in a place to receive?
I mean, I think what I'm afraid of is like getting an ego, you know, like kind of thinking like, oh, I really am the great, you know, so great, blah, blah. I think there's some of that like kind of spiritual egolessness, you know, nonsense that I've learned, you know, and yeah, whenever I kind of dismiss it, then it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess it's back to work again. There's also that part of me that just like doesn't want to like coast or something or like, you know, it's almost like it feels like it's like too much sugar, you know, you don't want to have too much that sweetness or you'll get kind of malnourished. So I don't know exactly. There might be a few things.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm about to take you off the hot seat for a little bit, Nate. Like what I'm hearing from you right now is that like one of the opportunities we have is to like expand your capacity, right? Expand your capacity. And so it's like what it feels like to me is like your nervous system can handle but so much like admiration, whatever it is, like the positive elements, and then it starts to go off, right? And when you talk about like the sugar, having too much sugar, I think about it like with my kids, like we don't give them a lot of sugar, so like we'll go to parties and there's kids who are just like down in juice boxes, and then they'll like sit down and like eat their food. But like our kids, like if they have like a sip of it, it's like bam, like who invited the party now, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, like it's overworking their system because even though it's just a little bit for other people, it's handleable. It's handleable. I think that's what I meant to say. And so Nate, like that's the sense I'm getting right now, where it's like the work right now is in your capacity building. It goes back to being in the receipt of, but there's a side of me that doesn't even feel like it might be ego. It might be like self trust. Do you trust yourself to continue to move through? And like that's something that we can, that's an ongoing practice. But I think it does actually start with like the element of like receiving and allowing yourself to actually take it in and to experience experience the overwhelm of the positivity that you get, and then being willing to see like, okay, how does that shape you?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna be playing here. Y'all are playing out. Pauline, I have something in mind for you as we go through. But first, I want to hear from you. Like, what's an insight that you've been getting from any part of this conversation? Not from your head. What is your gut been? That I can see it, right? I can see
So hard.
yeah. I was like, not from your head. I'm gonna need that. But yeah, from your gut, like, and we're getting a little bit of feedback here. So I'm gonna ask, just for now, mute yourself. Everyone, just mute yourself. I'm not talking to you. You can unmute later on. Like I'm not trying to keep people from talking. That's not it. There's actually a good energy that's being crossed over. But just for a little bit, because feedback started coming in. Pauline, you like unmute yourself here, and then we'll see what we can do. So like. All this conversation we've had, I said beforehand, like coming to this was all for you. So what's your gut been telling you in this conversation?
Like I identify with everyone here. And in our one-on-one coaching calls, but I'll share with everybody here, that I've been working, like there's been an upheaval of identity. And so I've been doing the work. And what's lovely about it, of embracing the upheaval, even though it's uncomfortable, is that all the supports and resources are showing up as I need them. And as everyone's been talking, it's like, me too. It's like #me too. And because I like what Diana was talking, and it was like, what I felt was like the money equals our value and worth. And I've always had this, like, I got to work hard to prove that I'm valuable. And I flipped the script on that one recently with this whole upheaval, is that I'm already powerful. I already transform the atmosphere when I walk in. So if I know I already do that and I don't need evidence, even though there is evidence, I show up differently. I engage differently. I remember differently. And it's been like a trickle down effect in every aspect of who I am. But we get stuck with this, like, well, the money, the more impact you have, the more money you make, or the more impact. Yeah. And it's just like, and we need to like stop with that. I just feel like we need to let go of that conditioning. And
So,
then
Pauline, just stay on track. But I'm hearing you talk about we, and there's some element here where I feel like let's dig it to you right now and see where it is, because everyone might have their own journey on this one. So we're
Okay.
with you, but like,
Yeah.
go ahead and own it. We got to be with you more if you own yours.
Yeah. Well, and I know I have a hard time receiving. So can I give a little context of my
Yeah, go ahead.
my life? Okay. So I was born without arms and legs, and everything that I've done in this world is like, it's like I had to see it and believe it before I did it, right? So I've done the impossible things without evidence. But then I have evidence all over the place that, I transform people, and I don't believe it. And so there's more work to be done with the identity stuff, to not just believe it, but then to embody it, and without it being the humility, like a humility thing, right? Like, because I'm always fighting against, well, I don't want to get up high. And I know you and I have had conversations about, like, well, if they put me on this high pedestal, I'm gonna fall and it's gonna hurt, because it's the higher the fall, or the longer the fall. And so I don't know if this has helped me with like identifying what you don't know what you don't know, but that impossible dream. But It's just more of the work. And I feel like at every level, there's just more of it that shows up. And so, yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
I've said
Yeah,
anything.
this is great. No, yeah, uh, I just can't let it end on. I don't know if I've said anything. So take a second in, right? Take a breath in, right? And I'm just not going to let you off the hook that
I
easily,
know. As soon
right?
as I said it, I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna call me on it."
Yeah. So be real. Land a plane on that. Like, what do you want us to know about you as a result that you've said it? What do you want to know? What do you want to remind yourself as a result of what you just said?
That I'm still growing and it's okay.
Yeah. 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 I'm now thinking back to when Diane was like, "Well, maintenance is like that's barely acceptable, but I need to be growing." I think the thing, right? Like when I go back to that, Pauline, the element of like I'm still growing and it's okay feels lower level than where you are. Like you grow, like that's the game. Like if you're not growing and you're just maintaining, like I don't think like let me ask you, would you be satisfied with that? Let me check in.
No,
No. All right.
absolutely not.
So there's this thing that I think happens, and this is where I like to bring in outliers because it's like y'all are not average people. Stop pretending. Stop pretend like we don't want average income, we don't want average impact, we don't see ourselves as being average people. So like let's not go for the average things, right? Oh, it's okay. Like I'm growing and that's okay. I'm like, "No, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's why I'm here. Like that's you have a lot of space. You have a lot of space and you're growing. All right. I want to thank you, Pauline, because you messed everything up in my head that I was gonna do. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play with Pauline. It's gonna be this way. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. And with what you just said, you actually just gave a lot of space on it. The the place I want to go to, and we'll start wrapping up this conversation in particular here in just a bit. But there's Pauline, I think that what I'm getting from you right now is like I think it's time to play from the places you don't know, right? And so the two places I'm going to invite you, like as you're trying to see that's impossible goal, impossible dream, like where what it could be, I get the sense that it's like we got to like let's start by challenging all the assumptions right off the bat and playing from that new place. So in particular for you, Pauline, I would love to see you play with being on the pedestal and the gift of you being on the pedestal and to see what comes from it, right? Because you like the thing is that if you were able to change your vantage point, you may be able to see a whole lot more. But like
Mm,
if you're not changing your vantage point, my friend, you ain't gonna see nothing else.
so good.
You
Yeah.
ain't gonna see nothing else, right?
Mm.
So this is where like I'm like, how do we play with Pauline just seeing like experiencing, practicing, starting from different places and seeing what's available from there, you know? And so one of them is like being in the pedestal and like instead of apologizing for it or worried about like the fall, like maybe it is a long fall. But have you ever gone skydiving? Have you?
No, right. This
Oh,
is that conversation came up yesterday, so
yeah.
maybe it's my near future, but I hope not.
Maybe it's coming up. I'm a former actuary, like retirement actuarial person, so I do a lot of time of like spent on like probability of decrement, meaning like death and other things happening. So when my wife came up and just said I want to go skydiving for her birthday, I was like, "Do you not know who I am?" I have video of it. It was incredible. But I bring up the skydiving right now because I remember a few different things about that. The biggest thing is that it was a very, very, very long fall. We specifically asked for a 60-second free fall, right? Before they turned on the parachute. Here goes the thing. One of the biggest things that came out of that was when I finally got to the ground and I was like able to be like, oh, I made it. You know, but when I finally got to the ground, I remember thinking to myself, I'm so glad we didn't have that 30-second free fall, which was like what was like actually offered, and that we took the 60 seconds. Why? Because that fall was a long fall. And the first 30 seconds, my brain was just overloaded. I'm like, what did I do? Why did I do this? This was not like dumbest decision I could have made. Like I love my wife, but do I love her this much? And hurl myself to the ground. Like there's a reason. What am I doing? And then after 30 seconds, roughly, I don't know how long I didn't have my watch on me, but like after 30 seconds, I realized I'm like, if I end up going and splatting on the ground, Like, would I have wanted that entire period to be like in this frizzed out mode? Like, if I'm gonna fall, I might as well enjoy it. But it took about 30 seconds for me to like actually get into the space of actually starting to enjoy skydiving and like smiling and all this stuff. Like the second 30 seconds was awesome. And then it hurt when they pulled the parachute. I was like, ouch, you know? But like there was there's something here where I'm like, oh, Pauline, like I would love to see you sit on that pedestal and even see what it's like to have the fall. Maybe the first 30 seconds are gonna suck, but the higher you get up, the more chance you might have a chance to be able to like sit down or like to see the world around you and let that sink in. Perhaps the fall isn't as bad as you think it's gonna be. Maybe the fall is something that could be something that's really, really beautiful. All right. I'm not saying get on there and fall intentionally. I don't know if I would be ready to get sucked out of the plane again, you know? But there's something here where it's like maybe the thing that you're trying to avoid could, if it happened, it could be way more beautiful than you thought. Mhm. I was gonna play with this in a different way, but like this is what like came up in real time here. Like I we're at the top of the hour, so I'm gonna start wrapping up here. I'm really grateful. Well, the way I want to close out here is the insight that you're leaving this conversation with. And outliers for anyone that's watching this, like this is what we do inside of the Outliers Edge world. So come join us, come meet these incredible people. Bring your real things. We have a whole community where we go and we coach live and we bring real things in here and we allow ourselves to keep growing and pushing and just I don't know, just becoming who else we're going to be for the problems we don't normally get to bring out into the world, the problems that outliers face. All right. You can go to school.com/outlier. You can come join us in there. So what we'll do now is that we'll wrap by having each of us share an insight that you got from this conversation. Um, what I'll do is I'll go in the opposite direction of what I think I have been doing beforehand. So I'll go Nate and then Pauline and then Diane. So Nate, what's an insight you got from this conversation?
I think the main insight was uh, to how much I related to each of you and benefited from the shared conversation. As you said, like there's a serendipity that happens when people come together. Like I don't think anything's accidental, and we all kind of cross paths at the same time, the same place, and I'm glad I took the invitation and I found I found a lot to think about and a lot of that expansion of seeing through each of what you said and what you shared, Niyama, to welcome the positive feedback, to take it in, to not reject it or pretend that it's going to hurt me. But as you said, also like what if I climbed up that pedestal a little bit? Because same thing, like a lot of my teachers, like in the yoga world, we put people on pedestals and then they fall down and then it looks very dangerous. So how do I, make a bigger impact in the world? You naturally are going to be in front of more people. People will put me or whoever onto a pedestal. How do I, handle that in a way that doesn't go to my head, but at the same time, I can use that platform perhaps to amplify and to help more people. So that's kind of like wrestling with that idea. I think that's one of the things that kind of keeps me like kind of ducking and weaving and kind of hiding out a little bit from my potential, is that fear of actually like being known or stepping into that bigger impact. So a lot to think about. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. You hit me with this phrase, hiding from my potential. There's something in that just really struck me. And Nate, I'm going to go to Pauline in a second, but note here, I asked you what your insight from this conversation was. We could have just ended this conversation right here, and I would have had no clue what you actually took out of this conversation. The feedback loop came because I asked, and it could be that simple, right? It's not a convers. The reason I know we can have life-changing conversations is because I keep asking people, what did you get from this? How was this life-changing, if at all? And then they tell me, right? And then I'm like, oh, it's not what I thought you were going to take from this at all. And eventually I realized like, oh, I don't even have to be good. They just have to be able to go through their own thing and go through that experience. We were done the moment y'all said yes. That the coaching was already complete. The moment I said, you want to come into a live session, like that moment was already complete. So keeping this on you, Nate, just look like, let's keep the feedback loops going. We'll keep working on that reception. I really appreciate you. Thanks for playing the game. Wait, Pauline.
So my biggest insight, I think it was that maybe it's not about the impossible goal. It's about the impossible becoming. Like, who am I going to become? And allow myself to become, to step into it fully. Because I don't need permission from anybody else other than myself.
Nice. Thanks, Pauline. Thanks for being here. Thanks for playing. And Diane, bring us home.
Just how similar we all are with that don't even know each other, and just the identity work never ends. And
Diane, so I see Diane, you froze on our street. Say it again. She said the identity work never ends, and then what?
Oh, the identity work never ends. We don't get to graduate from any of this. That this is like a daily, like it's just like brushing our teeth, right? Like it's like brushing our teeth. And so like not thinking, oh, I'm magically going to arrive someday. and I loved, not, I want it, like, let's be on the pedestal. Let's be on the pedestal together so that we can like have a little party up there, have a party on the skydive, have a party at the pedestal, have a, like I loved hearing Nate's kids. I think it was Nate's kid in the background.
Yeah.
And so just celebrate the season, to bring it back to that. Celebrate the season that each of us are in together, really just together.
I really love this. A pedestal party. Let us do that. Yes. Pauline, I know that you throw parties. So like there's something in here where I'm like, All right, y'all. So we're gonna end for today. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day and for showing up fully and unapologetically. All right, Outliers. I'm going to end this stream right here, and I'm going to start up a new one in about 5 minutes. We're going to have another group of people come in and come and play. And this is what we do. We're going to just keep serving and sharing with incredible people who are up to big things and creating their next level of impact by choosing the goals that most other people would say is impossible, and doing so in a way that is their true outlier way. Until the next time we talk, which will be in just a couple minutes, journey on.